All right, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the morning show. Oh, sliding over for my lovely lady. How are you this morning?
Blessed.
Are you going to disclose? Are you going to disclose? Come on, go ahead and disclose. We're a little off our game right now.
Yesterday evening, I fell for my husband yet again.
You fell for me? Yeah, Tell the full story, sis.
So, in my shop garage, I have a whole wall of, or like on the back wall.
Anybody there?
Oh, can you hear us?
Oh, I'm muted. My fault. See, we're off our game. That's actually not what I was
There we
thinking
go.
of, Brittany.
Yeah.
There's a couple things happening. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, so,
Tell your story.
long story short, I did something dumb and got on top of my cabinets. It's like a kitchen countertop height. And got on top of them to hang my sign and stepped on basically the crack of these boards that I'm using as a makeshift countertop and fell through. So I'm moving a little slow today. But
Yeah.
as I was hobbling across to do the show, the police are at my parents' house.
And like good nosy neighbors, we went, what's going on?
It was like, yeah, straight up, nosy neighbors. I tried to call my mom. She didn't answer. I called my sister. Go check on mom. The police are at the door. I don't know why I needed to check on mom. Like, oh, God, they found out.
Take her out the back door now. Oh, dude.
Sneak her out. But anyways, so this
And then when that happened, Adley's going nuts.
she's mad. Yeah.
Mom! Oh, what she wanting you to
I
do?
don't- she
Hold her?
wanted something. I don't know what it was, but she was mad. And then, so we finally got that squared away. Long story short, nobody's going to jail.
No one's going to jail.
Yeah,
Adley's okay.
we had a vehicle lose its tag on the road up here, and so they were able to generously bring it back to us.
That's very, very nice. Very nice. So yeah, anyways, we're on a little bit of a rough start. We're off our game a little bit.
Yeah.
But nothing we can't get back on track with.
We'll be streaming until 8:35.
That's right. No, we're not. Keeping a tight ship. Okay. But we are live wherever you're watching. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. How you doing, TikTok? By the way, can you see my lovely wife? Pow! That's who's been talking to you the whole time. And then, of course, we've got the Zoom panel. We've got Martinez Rory in the house. Martinez, how you doing?
Super fantastic. Happy, terrific Tuesday.
Let's go. Terrific Tuesday. Fantastic. So let's pick up from yesterday if we can. See. We are, by the way, if you're new to the morning show, basically this is I want you to imagine this like coming to a table.
It's one of them days.
One of them days. It's like coming to a table to meet with friends, old friends, new friends, right? And let's just say that we have conversations on this show. That's why we've got Martinez. We've got you in the chat. By the way, if you are ever interested in being a part of the conversation, we want you to. We want to put you in the Zoom panel and actually have dialogue with you. And so everyone else that's kind of watching, you're able to kind of vicariously hear in on what's happening in the conversations. But we have what I would call, actually what John Maxwell would call transformational conversations. Talking about things that kind of challenge us to be better. You know, in fact, I'm just going to be full disclosure. I'm reading his book or rereading one of his books. It's called Change Your World. And it's really giving me some good perspective of kind of what we're doing here with our time. I think this time is meaningful. This time is helpful. And I think it's organic because if you've been a part of this at any length, you know we're going to talk about some serious stuff, but we're also going to have some fun. We're going to laugh about life. We're going to share stories. We're going to share struggles. It's just going to be a great deal. It's going to be a great deal. And we do this every morning from 8 to 8:30. And this week we've been on the topic of growth, talking about growing, talking about how do we get better? You know, what are those things, those factors that help us grow as a person? You know, and yesterday, you know, we really talked a lot about kind of the difficulties. Like you kind of have to go through some stuff to grow. You have to kind of be willing to put yourself out there and try. Like, not to be whatever, but kind of a growth thing. We kind of celebrated, oh, Brittany got her first sale yesterday. Well, then yesterday, some momentum built. You're up to 3 now, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just keeps on ka-ching, ka-ching, like making movement, right? And I'm so proud of you because you kind of put yourself out there to get this going, right? Matter of fact, yesterday you launched your Etsy store. Is that right?
I did.
She's an Etsy girl.
I know, right?
And
I'm officially artsy.
You're
I'm crafty.
you're artsy fartsy.
I'm officially crafty. I have an Etsy store.
But wouldn't you agree? Wouldn't you say, Brittany, like for you in kind of this personal journey, it's a growth thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that being said, in this journey, like what are the biggest? Like I'm not trying to like put it all on you, but wouldn't y'all agree? Like everybody on the show, don't you love Brittany's perspective? Like I told her, I said, you have to be on my show full time now. You know that, right? Because number one, I love you. Number two, people love you. And just absolutely love your perspectives. So I don't know, maybe share a little bit, kind of what is some of the growth that you're experiencing and just kind of pushing yourself to be kind of a business mom, you know what I mean? Like, you know, even how you're seeing yourself, like how you maybe even that gap between, hey, here's where I'd like to see myself, but if I'm being honest, I'm trying to get there. You know, just take it for how you will, because we got a few comments too while you're putting your thoughts together.
Yeah. Oh,
Let's see here. It was a yesterday.
Can't stop yawning.
I was on yesterday. I was like, it ain't Monday. Wait, what is today? Did I say Monday? Maybe I did. I don't know.
Well,
But Mark, glad you're
Monday-ish,
here.
Tuesday.
Yeah. I bet that's what he said. Mark, you're funny. Kayla said her and Davis is in the house. Mark Henderson said bed is ready. And he's ready to make some dart holders. Come on. Scroll on, brother. Scroll on. He said, I don't mean to suck up, but this show helps me get going and motivated. Me too, Mark.
Awesome.
Me too. It's the real deal. Kayla agrees. So anyways, back to you, Brittany.
No, on my personal growth journey, I think I'm learning to give myself grace, which is...
Well, that's the Lord's job.
I know, right? But I don't think as a mom, as a woman,
Mm-hmm.
as me, who I am, not necessarily tied to gender, but
Yeah.
as Brittany, hey,
Just getting us together.
that was too difficult for you to do that.
No, I'm on wheels. I'm on wheels. So I'm like,
God, woman. Sorry. As Brittany, before kids, I would have been able to kind of jump into something and get going. As a mom, I have to juggle more. So finding that's a new area of growth for me, of dreaming in entrepreneurship, but also juggling parenthood and giving myself grace in that hey, I want to be here right now, but all of a sudden I had to shift gears because So just kind of figuring out how to manage that time and not get so frustrated with not being able to do something that I just give up on it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
This is not doable because I can't do this. I'm stupid to think I could do this with toddlers, or I'm crazy to believe. I'd try to go back to that. No, I got to persevere. Yet still I do it, and I get going and so yeah, that's a growth thing for me. Some days are easier than others, but
that and all that being said, Martinez, I'd love your feedback too. Here in just a second, I do want to go to TikTok. We've got some comments coming in. Becky said, I remember out here, one of my favorites was one's baby kidnapped. Yes, for sure. Babies have a tendency to kidnap this show, back to exactly what you're saying too. Becky says you have such a calm and welcoming demeanor. She loves
me?
you. Yeah.
Oh well, thank you very
Well,
much.
it's not me. I'm. Hey, God.
I'm quiet.
Yeah, you're a quiet queen.
Yeah.
So the thing that I'm hearing you say is, because this is kind of a dream and a passion for you. The circumstances may not be perfect for the way you wish they were, but the truth is the circumstances are creating a growth opportunity for you. Mm-hmm. Because wouldn't you say that, how many times have you thought to yourself that same thing, I can't do this. Yeah. I've got this going on, I've got that going on. The circumstance that I find myself in could easily stop you from doing that. But you have found yourself growing into a person that says circumstances don't dictate the terms of my dreams. Mm-hmm. In fact, I am growing more into my dreams more and more. I'm not a problem finder, I'm a problem solver. Does that kind of make sense in terms of the growth that you're having to experience going through that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if I'm not careful, and this is just I think anybody can fall in this habit. If you're not careful, you'll get so, I can't do this yet because of this, and that. So what you'll do is, if I can just hold on till I get to that point in my life, then I'll do it. And then you're not living for the present.
Yeah.
And you're not trying it now, and then, your present will be stolen from you, and you'll regret that one day.
Right, absolutely. Come on, speaking of kids, come on, little goose. Mommy. Yeah, she's right here. Martinez, what about you? Can you think of something that maybe in your life, again, career, even right now, you're a new dad, newer, but does any of these things, does that make sense that maybe your circumstances are actually growth opportunities for you?
Absolutely. circumstances are, I think, yeah, I think that's, like Brittany said, you have to be careful that, you don't listen too much to your the doubt. But she didn't say doubt, but that's kind of what I got out of it. As it relates to like whether you can. I mean, like I think you can certainly talk yourself out of growth. And I for me, like so what I anyone can have a child, right? Anyone could get married. Anyone could like go to church. So less that is like growth in my opinion, growth by default. Like
Right.
if you're married to someone and you cohabit, you naturally the next progression is a child potentially. If it's just like but the thing about it is, like, to me, there's growth by default and there's growth by design. And like there, as it relates to raising children, which obviously I'm no master at it at all, considering I've been at it for like 4 or 5 months, I have to look at my life and say, okay, what can I glean from it that I can package for my child so that, it's not just growth by default, but it's growth by design with a target, with a point of to go to in mind, and so there's just two different, there's everyone has growth by default.
Mm-hmm.
You go to school as a child because you're told to. That's you're growing, but it's not because you are being necessarily intentional. You're like someone's telling you to go.
Sure.
And, but yeah, you might say, well, I'm studying, and so that's growth by design. Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. But it's still like if it were up to a child, they wouldn't go to school.
Well,
yeah. Like, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I'll tell you this. Just throwing this out here is just, chew on this how you want to. I think you can fake yourself out. I think you can think that you're in a growth environment and you're really not. Like, so for instance, this is just my personal experience, right? This might not be for everyone's, but, and this is actually a negative thing. I found myself as a person that school wasn't that difficult because it was just kind of a system. So I learned the system and I was able to actually really seemingly do well without much effort. And the problem is, though, I didn't learn much while I was at school. Just to be just total transparent, like it is what it is. But it's also this level of kind of probably lack of interest. You know what I'm saying? Like I actually started learning more when I got out of school because, man, I started hitting books and areas and really developing where like you look like you're about to say something, Brittany.
It made me think about, there are some animals that will only grow as large as their environment.
Yes.
And then they just stop.
Yeah.
But if you put them in a larger environment,
yeah.
they will grow larger. And so it's one of those, it would have been easy for you to think you're grown.
Right.
Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and then
absolutely.
You get that persona of know it all. I'm grown. But I think somebody who is constantly striving for growth is constantly stepping into a larger environment, which I would then interpret as out of my comfort zone.
Brittany.
And stepping in, because within that is actual growth.
I gotta tell y'all this story because you're all up in my business today. So in that book, Change Your World,
yeah,
this guy was faced with a difficult decision of whether he were to go in one area of life or a different. Like it was basically between running a business, taking a position in a business that was very lofty or taking over his dad's nonprofit business, and he was really struggling. He was really frustrated. And a guy told him this story. He said he was at I don't know, some kind of a nursery, like a for like plants, like a plant nursery. Mm-hmm. And he looked and he saw all these exotic flowery type plants, but they were all in pots. And he asked one of the whatever nursery workers there, I don't know what you call them, you know, why are those in pots? He said, well, they're just, you know, they're there for sale. He said, let me ask you something. How old do you think that plant is? He said, I don't know, a few months old. He goes, it's about 3 to 5 years old. He goes, okay, you know, whatever. He said, and he pointed at this big tree. He said, how long do you think this tree's been here? It's massive compared to this plant. He said, probably about 10 years at least. He said, same amount of time. He said, do you know what the difference is? The guy said, no. He said, the difference between this planted pot and that tree, well, I just gave it away. The plant was potted,
yeah,
but the tree was planted. In other words, that little plant was confined.
Planted pot.
Yeah.
What kind of story is this?
It has a real high point, so it's of high moral value.
Yeah.
But the point is,
yeah,
that plant was confined to the pot. Mm-hmm. The tree was allowed to go as far as it could go. The difference maker was the environment it found itself in.
Yeah.
And so it's just an interesting concept of like, you know, maybe sometimes do you think you're in a growing environment just because everyone else thinks it's a growing environment, but is it your growing environment? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think about that, Martinez?
Well, I mean, I think you're spot on, and there's a great story to piggyback what was, oh my God, I brain farted. What's your wife's name?
Brittany.
Oh my God.
It's Brittany.
What's her name?
It's
I love the story of
it's Brittany Martin.
You know. Oh my God, my bad.
I'm kidding.
Brittany Martin.
I love you.
But, you know, what Ricky shared regarding, like, you know, there's only certain animals that grow based on the environment that grow so far or grow so, you know, much. And, you know, and you like not liking school or thinking school was boring or it came easy, you know, very well might have been like a product of your environment, i.e. Some teachers, it's the teachers that need to bring out learning or the thrill of learning out of students, you know. And so it, you know, to use your story, Jason, you were potted, you know. You weren't in a.
I'm a potter.
You know, the potter was potted. You know?
Yeah.
And so, you know, that there's some truth to that. You know, there's very well truth to that, and that's like, you know, and it's as of course, I'm taking this show a little bit different, but as a father, I think about that. You know, as far as like how much growth my son will get, you know, how far my wife will get out of life, you know, potting them, or am I planting them, so to speak, you know? And so that's some serious, you know, I feel very responsible for that. And so like but still growth, yeah, you can think you're growing and just be in an environment where you're just existing. I go to I get a membership to a gym. I go, I walk through. Oh, I worked out. No, you know, did you though? I mean, you know what I mean? It's like just having a membership. So yeah, you're not growing by design. You're still growing by default because you haven't actively engaged in that environment of learning, of growth, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
To that point, just this morning I didn't go in depth in it, but am I saying it, Elon Musk?
Elon.
Yeah. So his whole family, his siblings, everything, they're successful people. Mm-hmm. And so they asked his mom, what did you do to raise successful kids. And like I said, I didn't read the whole thing, but the breakdown of it was, she said, I never let them shy away from hard work. Like I made them work hard. I didn't treat them like babies, and I let them follow their interests. But, I think that's a perfect example of planting someone.
Yes,
You know
absolutely.
what I'm saying? Like I planted them, with an environment to where their roots could go down deep. Like it's one of those. And
No
that's
limits.
it. Work hard.
Yeah.
That's what I tell Anna. I don't. This is hard. Yeah. Well, that's life. Life is hard.
Yeah.
You've got to learn to work hard. Anybody that tells you otherwise, it's a gimmick.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Let's see here. TJ says, a parent, one of the few things that we knew is that we had to learn a lot, and we were willing to admit it. Teachability goes a long way to continue to grow and not stumble. I agree, absolutely. And that's what we're doing. We're learning. Mark says, so good. So many times we are in environments that stunt our growth. I really do. I believe that sometimes it's really easy to, and going back to Martinez's example, you can get comfortable in what used to challenge you. Like to the gym, the whole point of the gym, like you can do a routine so long that routine, you've actually built the muscle to make that routine that used to be difficult, easy. And so what you have to be willing to do is you got to challenge yourself again. Billy says a good teacher just doesn't just impart information. A good teacher. Oh, it's cheese time. Cheese time. A good teacher plants seeds. Absolutely. Because I will say this, to that point, I did have some teachers that in its moment, I didn't recognize it, nor did I even understand it. But that seed that was planted by those, individuals that did do the sowing, they did birth later on. They did, you know what I'm saying? It might not have come at that school year, but down the road, it developed into something that was helpful. Becky says, I want, because every time I took off, I was 100%, let's see here. I want it because every time I took off, was 100% dairy related, and look at me now. I want it because, awesome. Let's see here. Who else we got here? All right, we're at final thoughts now, kind of wrapping this up, and here's what I want to do. I want to wrap this up and close it out with a little more question, a little more application. You get you some cheese? All right, have a seat, little girl, baby. You're welcome. Say hi. Do y'all love Adley or what? Isn't she cute? She's gonna look back at this, be like, oh wow. I'm so fancy.
I'm going to look back at this and say I juggled.
Mom power right here. Mom power. Here's what I would say. Good question to ask yourself throughout the day. Am I in environments of growth? Or am I somewhere that, and by the way, let me clarify, this isn't one of those like, hey, I need to, give up everything and go, I'm just simply saying, because even some of the environments that you're in, you could shift the environment that you're in right now. You could make some changes that could create potential new growth. Or how about what's some things you're running away from? What's some opportunities that has got you on the run and you're just like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm capable of that. Well, maybe that's why that opportunity is there in front of you, is that opportunity is in place to make you into the person you've always wanted to be. It's a growth opportunity. I'm not saying that that's the place where everything happens, but that place, that moment, that position, what if that's the thing, the catalyst that brings out that next version of you, that next level? What if that's the place that your gift is truly developed, so that way in your next environment it's deployed? What could that look like? Just maybe a little food for thought, little, application for the day is, hey, where am I at? And is this challenging me? Anyways, anything you want to say?
No, that's perfect. Adley thinks it's cheesy.
Nah, cheesecake and cheese.
I love it. How does this time go by so quick?
That's what kind of, yeah, because it is. It's 8:29.
Well, granted, we're
and
5 minutes late.
I will be singing that Celine song now.
Ooh.
Oh, go ahead, Martinez.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, just to add to what you're saying, like, let's face it, time's gonna pass us by, whether we're actively engaged or sitting on the bench,
Right.
And so the thing about it is, in each of us is the greatest jewel or diamond to learn and grow. And so the question is whether we're going to, grow by default or grow by design. Yeah. And so don't chicken out. Don't let the voices intimidate you or your history of not necessarily success intimidate you from sit on the bench. Get out there and take life by the tail or by the horns rather, and make something happen. Just get in the game. Mm-hmm. Life by design or by default.
I agree. So let's go out there and make it happen. All right, we're going to sign off. Wherever you're watching, make sure to share this. Let people know about it. It's very simple. Just hit the share button. Also, wherever you're watching, make sure you're subscribed, you've liked the page, whatever it is. That way you can get notifications of what's going on. And we'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we'll continue this conversation about growth. But until then, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.